Good evening, everyone. Bob Zagami here with John DePietro. And I got us both up on the screen. It's February 21, and we've got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. And I'll let John tell you all about this is our very first international broadcast. So we're getting up the chart. So, John, tell them why it's an international
That's right,
broadcast.
Bob. I should say bonjour because I'm in Montreal. Actually, I'm in Toronto. I was going to be in Quebec. So, number one, I have the city wrong. I have the province wrong. But the country, I have correct. I am in the country of Canada. Actually, I'm closer to Buffalo than I am to Worcester. But what it all boils down to is we vacationed here last summer. We camped in Ontario, courtesy of the Ontario Campground Owners Association. And we're putting that show together for rolling on TV. And let me tell you, folks, Ontario and Quebec are great places to RV. And if you're in New England RVing, you see Canadian license plates all the time. So we spent so much time up in Maine, we saw the Quebec plates at Old Orchard that we decided to go north of the border last year. And I had a couple days off from babysitting and got in the car, drove up 89, then went to Montreal, and now I'm in Toronto. So it's cool. It's cool seeing all the places that you RV during the summer, during the winter, because it's a totally different ball game.
Yep, and we're hoping for good connections up there. But if we buffer a little bit with John, you'll know that's the reason, because he crossed over the border.
Yep, throw me under the bus.
Right, there you go. All right, first up tonight is show activity. Show activity continues to be really strong. This coming weekend, we have two shows. We have the Worcester RV show in Worcester, Mass, and we have the Vermont State RV show in Lake Champlain, not Lake Champlain, Essex Junction.
Essex Junction. Now you say, first off, effectively, that could be our only topic for this show, because there's so much show activity that we noticed last week in West Springfield with that show, which was huge, and the Worcester show. Now, I think it's very interesting to point out, the Worcester show is free. It's totally free. And all you have to do is go online. I think it's worcestershows.com, and you can print out your coupon, or go to many of the dealers, Bob. I'm sure you have a list of the dealers that are exhibiting in Worcester, and most of them will probably have a free pass, good for two people.
I do have that, but it actually gets even easier than that. If you go to the DCU Center and you go to the ticket booth, do not take your wallet out of your pocket, because right next to the ticket booth, they have a whole stack of free tickets. And I'm not sure why they do that, but take advantage of it. If you don't have it, you ask anybody out there, and they got a free ticket to the show.
It's a free ticket, and it's a good show. I know we have Flag there. We have
Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday. We have coming up Campers in RV. We haven't seen them for a while. They were not in the Springfield show. So Campers In will be there. We have the Flag family will be there in full force. We got Forest Marine and RV. Maybe you saw the video that we did today, and with Bruce. Bruce had to sit in and sub for his son Derek. Derek's vacationing down in Florida, so he left it to Dad's capable hands. Sherry Fuller will be there with Fuller Motorhome Rentals, and she always does really well at the shows. Jeff Wozniak with Mans will be there. And Pete's RV will be there, and he'll take over both the Pete's RV booth and the McDonald's RV booth. Because
why is that?
Well, Pete's RV purchased McDonald's RV 2 weeks ago. We finally got the press release earlier this week, but McDonald's RV in Plainville, Mass. will now be known as Pete's RV Center, and they've already started to fully integrate the Pete's team. And Ronnie Layberger, a good friend of ours who's been in the industry up here for a long time, is the new sales manager.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
There.
I wasn't aware of that. And Randy's, you know what? He's a really nice guy. He always helps us out in videos, and is a real pro in the industry. And it's nice to see the new people are keeping the veterans that know that marketplace in place.
And we have one more. Linda will be there with Seacoast RVs, and she'll have a complete park model with sunroom and a deck similar to what she showcased in Boston. So if you're into destination camping and park model living, you'll see an entire unit sitting right there as you go in the door. So It's a smaller show, but you know what? You can spend a lot more time with the dealers. You're not going to have 40,000 people running around.
You know, you bring up a good point on the small show. There's less people that attend it. However, we had friends that went on Saturday last week to Springfield, and we saw the numbers. They get 20 to 25,000 people in 4 hours. That's a lot of people to run through, even though it's 3 buildings. And it was the Cavoses, because I talked to them, and we went out with pizza with them Friday night,
Right.
and I'm still stuffed from that pizza, by the way, Red Rose Pizza, where they're not going to give us a free pizza, but I'm going to go back to Springfield again for that pizza.
It was indeed very good. Right.
Yeah, but Rhonda said it was too busy to be able to go in and have any sales rep talk to them. And they're serious lookers, and they also, know what to look for in an RV. So
Yep.
Worcester is a little less crowded, but it's the time that you can go in and really ask, sit on the bed, sit on the chairs, sit in the dinette, do you want a dinette or do you want a table and chair set? That
Yep.
type thing.
Yep.
So that's
So
cool.
we expect that to be good. And because John is still on the road, I will probably cover the show Friday, maybe Saturday, but that's Worcester.
Yeah.
And then
I'll be in Vermont.
You're going to make a detour on the way home, right?
Yep, I'll be in Vermont, and we've got 3 deals. We've got Vermont Country Campers, we've got Pete's and Meckelson's in the Vermont show, which is at the Essex County Fairgrounds.
Well, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that one because Pete's and Vermont Country Campers always do a good job, but we finally get a chance to do a video on Meckelson's now. Connie and Bruce, brother and sister who run Meckelson's, will not be at the show. They'll be minding the store, but the sales manager will, and we will finally be able to get a video for Meckelson's because they're up there in East Montpelier, Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
They're, in fact, probably within walking distance of Vermont Country Camper. You could drive into one and go down the street and see the other. And, of course, Pete's is up in South Burlington. So
for those people that might be listening and say, wait a minute, Pete's is in Springfield. Well, they've split their crew. Chad is staying in Worcester, and he's got his northern crew up there because they're going to be in 2 shows. So you can see of a lot of dealerships, these guys are movers and shakers, and they are making their mark in New England. Yep.
Jerry just joined us. Hi, Jerry. Jerry's got Prince Edward Island on his list this summer. Hopefully with the ferry. You talked to the Cat Ferry people this year, and you've actually been on it. Why don't you just touch base on the Cat?
Well, it's interesting. If you take the Cat from Portland, Maine, to Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, you eliminate about 500 miles worth of driving. And, the pricing is different depending upon the month that you go and the day of the week that you go. But I know they want to make it more affordable, and we talked to their marketing people, and they were thinking of buses as their premier audience instead of RVs. And I said, you guys really need to look at the RV community because, like Audrey Foley, what's her last name? Egan. Oh,
that's all right.
They're going up there, but
I remember
they're going to go around a little bit because they want to make a longer trip of it. But there's a lot of RVers in New England that could take that ferry. And when you get on it, there's movies and dining and airline style seating. We went on that similar one a few years ago, and they are big. These are not tiny. These are not the ferries that go from Martha's Vineyard to Nantucket to Hyannis. These are big ones, and you're out in the sea, I think, for 4 or 5 hours, something like that. But it's really cool. I think if you go to catferry.com or just Google the Cat.
The Cat, just the Cat, Portland, Maine, and it'll pop up. It's a beautiful boat. Hopefully, I'm going to take it over there this year and see what it's like. But that's very popular, and it's right sitting down there on the old port in Portland. So that we have. So we got the 2 shows.
Open houses.
In addition to that, we have got a lot of open houses, which is standard. After the shows, a lot of times, right after the show, the dealers will have open houses back on the lot.
Now, I'm going to predict something, Bob. Even though I didn't partake in it, But my wife kept texting me all day. It's 68 degrees. It's 69 degrees. It's 70 degrees. It's 73 degrees. Okay, but she also said tomorrow's supposed to bring some shady weather. Whether that's rain, sleet, or snow.
And it's going back under 32 degrees.
Right. I'm going to guess that people got a chance to go outside for the first time in several weeks where we've had good weather. I think that's going to spark a high interest in the shows this weekend, and especially at the 3 places that we know of that have open houses this weekend, if you want to tell us what those are.
I will, but I just noticed we got a new visitor, Michael. I hope I say it right, Michael LeCormick. He says, Forest, well, I can show you. I keep forgetting to post this stuff up here. And he says, Forest Marine is the best place to buy. Well, I think all of our dealers are great places to buy. We love the guys at Forest Marine. It's a family-run business, Jayco exclusive. Did you catch the video that we did with Bruce today, Michael? And, if you want to grade it, you might not give him an Oscar, but he does a pretty good job when Dennis and Julie aren't around to do the videos. But, yeah, it was wonderful. In fact, it was so hot today, they didn't have the fireplace going.
No fireplace.
No fireplace.
There's something magic when you
I walked in, there was no fireplace.
There's 2 things magic about Forest Marine. The fireplace and the lottery ticket machine.
Yep. You did buffer a little bit. See, try that again. You buffered a little bit.
2 things about the Forest Marine, and it is the fireplace and the lottery ticket machine.
Right.
Find me another dealership that has both of those, and I will find you. You're going to be in whatever that town is right on the line. Where are they located? I know exactly where they are. I just can't remember the town.
Kingsborough, Mass, just south of the Pheasant Lane Mall.
Yeah, look across the street, and there's New Hampshire.
Yeah, so what you do is you go in first, and you go into the lottery office and the Keno office. Make a few bucks. Right, they come right into the door, and they head right for that lottery office. Buy yourself a couple of scratch tickets, hit the jackpot, and then see Bruce and Derek and the team. And
you won't see Derek.
Well, you won't see him this week.
No,
he's spending down in Florida.
Hopefully, he's watching the show.
Michael did watch the video. Would you give Bruce an Oscar, Michael, or do you think he has to have a little bit more practice? Just let us know on that. All right, first up on the open house. Cold Springs, RV. I'll take this one. I'll let you talk about the next. How's that? We're New Hampshire. Scott Silver, Joe Melanson, one of the great salespeople up there. Ray Panzino, the sales manager. They've got all the units open. They've got a tremendous stock of inventory. Everything from pop-ups to Class A motorhomes. I think the last time I talked to them, they had something like 15 or 20 pop-ups in stock. They're really big on toy haulers. So if you saw them at the Boston show or at Springfield, then take a trip up there to Weir, New Hampshire. It's really very convenient, just a little bit west of Concord, New Hampshire. They did the whole building over last year.
It's really a nice facility, nice inviting facility.
Nice little old vintage Scotty trailer in the sales room with a painting that one of their local artists did on the wall, so it kind of looks like a nice campground setting. Great guys. Go up there and take a shot and see what they've got for you. But you'll have a lot of fun up there, that's for sure.
Yep.
Next up, Hemlock Hill.
We go down to Connecticut. We go almost into Waterbury, and we go to Hemlock Hill. And when I talked with Jesse last week, he said, look, all the units that we brought to that Springfield show, anything that we didn't sell, and I'm sure they sold a lot there, they're all going to be open, wide open, and down at their show. And the smart thing that these dealers know is many times people come to a show, and if it's their first time, they're somewhat confused. And this gives the customer, the potential customer, the opportunity to do is to go to the dealership and, at least in Hemlock's case, see hundreds of similar type units that are all open. They're out in the parking lot. There might be a little mud in the parking lot.
Don't say that, Todd.
Let's see if Todd's
going to jump on. I don't know if Todd's watching tonight. He'll jump on there.
Okay. A little bit of fun between our dealer friends.
Yeah.
And then there's Diamond.
Well, wait, before you get off Hemlock,
Okay,
Diamond's
go ahead.
Diamond's not going to be in Worcester.
No. Diamond's got an open house.
Oh, they do.
Yes,
After
that's
right.
After the Springfield show, they said, "Come on down."
You're right.
I may be there on Saturday. I'm not 100% sure.
Before you go on Diamond, one of the things that I like about Hemlock Hill, it's another well-run family business. But they have specialized in some of the smaller trailers. They have big ones. They have all the way up to the Cougars and gigantic fifth wheels and Class Cs. They're too small. If you like the outdoors and you like tenting or camping or you want something small, they've got
tenting but don't like sleeping on the ground.
Right. They've got the Sylvan Go, which is an incredible little device that unfolds and becomes a nice pop-up tent, and it's all off the ground. Very convenient. But they also have the new Luna, and they had it at the Hartford show. They had it at the Springfield show.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw in.
21st century teardrop. I mean, the architecture, the design on it is phenomenal. Less than $20,000. Really.
Luna. Luna.
Luna. So they've got that, and I think they probably still have that right in the showroom inside for that one.
Mm-hmm.
With their parts and accessory store. So they've got a lot to show you there. So what's Mark and Bob doing up in West Hatfield?
Well, they got food trucks, and that was enough to have me say, "Hey, do you need me to come up and do some videos?" And they said yes. So I'm probably going to be there Saturday morning. Still got to confirm everything, but they've got, I think he's got 400 units on the lot, and when they do an open house, because they have 400 units. They have a fleet of golf carts in their display area, and you can see a whole bunch of units that way with the golf carts. Because when you look down and you see that line, because he's got one of those long, narrow dealerships, and you look down and you see 50 units, you say, "Wow, that's intimidating." But Bob or somebody will just put you in the golf cart and take you to each one that you want to see one by one. And then they got the food trucks, and I tell you, they have really good cheeseburgers and fries at that food truck. Not that you would ever eat a cheeseburger and fries.
I would never. I'll believe it. When he brings the elephant ears truck in from Elkhart, Indiana, then I will go out and visit with them. So we'll have to whisper that in Mark's ear. Say, Mark, there's a special food truck in Elkhart that Bob really likes, and you really ought to bring it in for the open house.
See, now that we have this technology that Michelle introduced us to, called Be Live, we'll be able to do shows next September directly from Elkhart. Maybe even from the lobster tent over at the Thor booth, or the prime rib display in the Elkhart over at the Forest, the elephant ears at the Forest River display.
Yeah, which is right next to the strawberry shortcut food truck. Strawberry shortcake food truck.
And for disclosure purposes, it should be said that you did eat an elephant ear, an entire one yourself, which is bigger than your head, and then washed it down with a strawberry shortcake.
That's the way you do it. Yeah, right. That's the way you do it. Okay.
Right.
Brad Moore has his President's Month event. And for those of you who, through the years, may know Ray Noriega, Ray has recently left his former employer, and he is now the sales manager and finance manager at Bradford RVs. Tremendous following, great guy, great family man, and delighted to see him in this new opportunity for him. So there's a good reason to stop down at Bradford's, and also to see all of his trailers and destination trailers. Brad does a lot on destination trailers.
He does.
And takes them out to campgrounds all over New England. And
Brad always amazes me. I mean, we call him Big Brad because he's a big guy. But secondly, he gets big numbers on his videos. We don't know. We think he's paying relatives to get views on his videos, because every time we see a video from Brad, within an hour, there's like 120 to 150 views. Yeah. And that's more than we get in our international show here.
Yeah, he's very, very popular with his customers. They really love him. Does a great job down there. Yeah. I mentioned that Pete's buys McDonald's RV. Yeah. And that's a pretty significant thing. It'll certainly bring some excitement into the RV market in southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, having a dealership like that down here.
we don't know yet the lines that they'll be bringing into McDonald's, if they're going to introduce any new lines. And if they do, that's great. They have Airstream in a couple of their markets. But when they come into a market, they mean business, and they price products to move. And they're nice people. They're nice people.
Our weekly compliment from Michelle and Laurie. And I was beginning to wonder if because I think they still have their grandsons out in Arizona. So I know they're entertaining grandsons. So,
but I'm wondering if it was warmer in Worcester yesterday than Arizona, because I know some of their posts said that it wasn't really that warm. And again, I think my wife said 73 today.
Right, she was complaining the other day that it was cold out there.
Was it only 65?
Yeah, I think it was 45.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Every once in a while, you have to blend in with get some good averages with the temperatures that way.
That's brutal.
When I was on the train today, I looked over that train from Montreal to Toronto. I think it's about 300 miles or so, but it runs right along the Canadian highway, the 401. And I looked over 2 or 3 times, and I saw flatbeds hauling the little short travel trailers, 3 or 4 on a flatbed trailer. Yeah. And so they were coming from the manufacturer. And if those are coming into Canada this time of year, I can imagine what's going on down south in the U.S. But the ironic part is, as I'm watching these new units head for the dealerships, I was reading Mark Polk's new book that you gave me last week, and I think you may have a copy there. And
I do indeed, if I can do this without getting too much reflection on it.
There we go.
The
RV book.
Okay.
It's the 5th edition, so if the cover looks similar.
Yep, it's called The RV Book, and we're having great success with it. We've recently started, Mark and Don Polk at RV Education 101 are associate members of NERVDA. So I've got a couple of books, and I take them around with me. And let me just put the address. Well, you tell them about Mark and Don, and I'll put this in.
Interestingly, they've turned into good friends. We met them through fellow journalists in the industry, and they have this RV Education 101 program that for anything that, if you've got any sense of what end of a hammer to hold up, Mark and Dawn put videos together. They got a ton of stuff on YouTube. RV Education 101. They can do everything from show you how to check your propane, show you how to check the inside dually wheel tires without killing yourself. A lot of stuff that if you're not near a dealership and something goes wrong, there's troubleshooting. And Mark was a mechanic in the military and has taken his skills from serving the country to serving us in the RV world. And they're great people, except the only thing is they're Pittsburgh Steelers fans, but we kind of shut them up this year.
Well, there's that, and as our friend Michelle just pointed out,
vegetarian.
They love them also, but Dawn's a vegetarian, and she does not approve of the diet that John and I subscribe to.
Yeah, Bob more so than me.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Actually,
sure. Blame it on me. Now,
I actually had a salad last night.
Right. So the other thing that they have, and they just announced it, I haven't even put it up on the website yet or on our Facebook page, but they have just announced their online streaming programs. Many of the programs that they've had through the years on video or DVDs or even streaming are now online. And consumers and actually dealers can go on too, but sign up for them. And the courses run, I think I checked real quick, around $19 to $39 for a course. So you sign up for the course, you enter all your information, and you take the course at your leisure. So you can do it on weekends or nights and take whatever course you want. I don't know how many they got up there, but let me tell you, there's a lot. And it has everything to do with RV. So it's that combined knowledge that Don and Mark have taken over the years and brought it to the next level of where technology is.
Yep.
So
and we should also say that they appear frequently on Rolling on TV as well as you and I do as well.
Yeah, regular. Yep.
You know, we do tour stuff, and we do. You do a lot of stuff with manufacturers, but Mark gets his hands dirty, or he shows us how to get our hands dirty without getting killed. And let's face it, there are things that if you mess the wrong way with some of these components in an RV, you're putting your there are safety issues that you've got to deal with, especially with propane. You know, I know he has several videos on how to even, you know, when you should change the batteries in your smoke detector and CO2 detectors and that type of thing. You know, it's something people should start looking for, because really, what are we now? 5 or 6 weeks away, 5 weeks away from taking the RVs out if you use April 1st as the start of the season. You know, it's coming up shortly.
Yep, and Jerry just hit the nail on the head. No truer statement has ever been said than what Jerry just said right there. And Jerry's on the service side. He sees what happens in there, but our industry has to do a lot better job of educating prospects, not only customers, but the prospects who are coming into the industry. People like Mark Polk, Jeff Johnson on Rolling on TV. These are people who really know what's happening. You know, one of the frustrations that they have, and we talk a lot about it behind the scenes, is because of the internet and the number of forums and groups and conversations that take place, the amount of information, I should say the amount of incorrect information that is on the internet is going to get people in trouble.
It could kill them.
Right. It could do serious harm. And I mean, you have to get your information from knowledgeable sources. It's just like fake news. You have to understand where it's coming from and check it out. And, you know, I know forums are fun, and I know it's nice to want to impart information, but I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen these things posted
with factually incorrect stuff.
Right, and have been clarified by an expert later on. So as you're doing your research on the internet, please don't believe the next post that you see on Facebook. I mean, if we haven't all learned the lessons of Facebook, I mean, it's nice, it's socially comfortable for us to have those conversations, but boy, they drive you down the wrong road quite often.
I know one of the topics that Mark is adamant about is having proper tire pressure in your vehicle and checking it frequently, because a blowout on a Class A going down an interstate highway at 60 to 65 miles an hour, you don't want to see that on a dashboard cam. That's crazy.
I'm not sure if this was from Laurie or Michelle, but I think they did freeze up their water lines on their Lance trailer because they figured just because they were in Arizona, nothing freezes. But I think they now have learned that newbie lesson that you do have to protect your rig.
Speaking of that, and that's why it's very important to rent. If you're going to rent, you want to rent from a reputable dealer. And we know that Sherry Fuller is as reputable as can be in because they've been doing what they've been doing for 30, 35 years. But around Super Bowl time, a friend of mine from Philadelphia, actually used to work at the DCU Center, he's in the arena management business, flew to Chicago from Philadelphia and picked up a motorhome. And they were told, and then they were going to go up to Minneapolis. They were told that as long as you kept the inside warm, that you wouldn't have to worry about any freeze-ups underneath, like in the water lines. And I told him, I said, Peter, that's not going to work. It will freeze. So he kept, like on Friday night of the Super Bowl weekend, he said, we're at the airport now we're at the airport now, we're going to the place. And, I said, make sure that you find out a place that you can get extra propane, because you're going to have to keep heaters running. But I said, no matter what you do, with 10 degree to 20 degree below zero weather, those water lines will freeze. And sure enough, they froze. Luckily, they were parked in believe it or not, they were parked in a hotel parking lot. So they were able to. A couple of the people had rooms in the hotel. They were able to go in there to shower. But that's why it's important that if you're going to rent, that you rent from somebody that is going to tell you what's best for you, and not somebody who's just going to tell you what they want to tell you, so that you can get the rental fee.
Sounds good.
You put up a couple other headlines there about the Worcester show this weekend and the Vermont show this weekend.
Yeah, I cannot believe how quickly 30 minutes passes, and we always want
Dealer
to be
open houses this weekend. Oh,
Yep.
How about the contest?
Oh, the contest, yeah. If you haven't been on the website, let's get you on the website. Vote for your favorite RV NERVDA deal. It's got to be a NERVDA dealer. Put your vote in. The dealer with the most votes will get a pizza.
There's somebody
party.
voting right now.
I think it's either Wally or RV. I actually have a dog named RV. I spell it ARVEE, but I call him RV. So how many of you actually have a dog named RV? But back to the contest.
It can talk right on cue.
He talks on cue. He heard contest, and he heard pizza. So maybe the pizza got him going. But vote for your favorite. Wait a minute. Let me get the sentence out. The first, vote for the RV dealer, NERVDA dealer of your choice. They get a pizza dinner. We will select somebody who votes for that dealer from that group, and they will get a $100 gift certificate to be used at that dealership. Parts and accessory stores, put it to its service, put it as a down payment on a new RV if you'd like. We will have that. So go, it's at the very top. Let me see if I can do this right. At the very top of our Facebook page, and vote for your favorite dealer. So, and every time we do a video, we always get a lot. So last week we had a rush of people for Hemlock Hill and Diamond, and today right after the video, Camping World had some. We had a bunch of people in there for Forest, Marine, and RV. So we're not promoting any one particular dealer. That's up to you. You decide who you like.
Well, we should pick the one with the smallest staff, so that if we bring a couple large pizzas, we'll have more for ourselves.
Well, that's true. We won't. We'll have more left over.
Now, there's one more contest that we were just discussing before we went live, and
right.
We're still trying to figure it out. But go back to that book.
Okay.
And, if you look on your Facebook screen right now, underneath the video, it says share. It should. Does it say it on yours? Because I'm working off a phone. Does it say share?
Yeah, it should. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's on our Facebook page. So and they're watching
Facebook page, right?
So right under the video, they should have a share button.
Share button. Okay.
So if you want to finish it?
What we're going to do is we're going to pick somebody, and because we have the capability to know who shared. Actually, it says Bill Smith shared the video. We're going to pick the name of somebody who did share in the next week this particular video, and we're going to get them a copy of that book. It's $19.99 on Amazon. But you know what? It's like, show the side of that, because that's not just a thin book. Show how thick that book is. I mean, that's a thick book. What is it? 200 pages? 250 pages? Something like that.
302.
Okay, so
better check. 302.
Open the pages a little bit, because it's jammed with knowledge, and it's jammed with illustrations and photos. And I haven't seen a photo yet, but I've seen illustrations. There we go.
Great education.
There we go. Yeah, I knew I saw it in the beginning, but
I talked to Don today. So request it at your dealer, and if your dealer doesn't sell it, have them contact me. We showed it up at Lee's Family Trailer Sales this day, and they purchased this week, and they purchased a case, so they'll have them available for their open house on March 3rd to 18th. And with Bruce Flanders today, I showed it to Bruce, and he said, "I'll take a case." So you're gonna start seeing this on our dealers' desktops, and you'll be able to buy it in the parts and accessory store. And don't buy it on Amazon.com, because it's going to be a lot cheaper in the dealer store. So if your dealer does not have it, send me an email.
Tell them.
Send me an email, and I will put my email up here, and I will go visit them and let them know all about it.
And we like to make a promise to people that we're not going to hold them much over. We may have already held them over a little bit.
We did. So yeah, we're hitting 7:34. So
okay.
Any closing statements from the uppermost part of North America?
Nope. I'm looking forward to getting back to the U.S. on Friday and stopping at that Vermont RV show. Then Saturday, getting into Worcester, going to that show, going out to Diamond, and I know that you've got several other things. You're going to be this show next week, if technologically we're able to pull it off, and we did an international thing. You're going to be in Elkhart.
I'm going to be
with some
RV
major industry
Yep.
leaders, and we should have Elkhart in the background, and I won't have this wallpaper in the background anymore.
That's a good point. We have a major meeting out there on March 1st to talk about industry shows and activities. So I'll be in beautiful downtown Elkhart for a couple of days visiting. I'm also going to stop in at the RVIA headquarters, talk about some more technician training programs. And yeah, I'll be reporting from Elkhart next week. We'll do that. All right.
With that being said,
we're going to kill it. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Go RVing.